Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny. And holy crap, we have some breaking news regarding our favorite stock, Alibaba, and some older kind of news that I want to revisit and show you what it means now. We're going to get right into this video, okay? So this headline is been around a couple weeks, okay? But it was basically, if you remember Alibaba talking about how they're going to convert into this dual primary listing. Remember
Mm-hmm.
this little tidbit?
Yes.
Okay. So because of that, now they're dual primary listed on the NYSE and the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. We're starting to see a little bit of increased transparency, if you will, because of that, which is an interesting thing. Despite their non-capitalist nature, they're still actually pretty good about transparency. Which go figure, right?
Well,
Um,
okay. Good for
yeah,
China. Let's go with that.
yeah. All right. Yeah, exactly. So this is the article I'm referencing here. So Alibaba Group Holding announced on Friday the convert to this dual primary listing, Hong Kong Stock Exchange and the NYSE. It has a few aspirations, if you will. It will improve the company's position in the capital market, boost stock liquidity, and reduce risk associated with listing in the U.S. Okay, and this is a little bit of the response to kind of the Chinese stock delisting risk, if you will, trying to diversify their listings. Right. But so it went in effect as of August 28th. So it's been a couple of weeks now. And as a result of that, they've had to push daily publications on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange that show their active buybacks daily rather than quarterly, which
Ooh,
is what we were getting before.
that is
Right.
huge because we were trying to wonder if they're going to keep up this crazy pace of buybacks they're finally doing.
Yeah. So every day now you can look at it. This is from Alibaba's investing relations website, right? This is how you would find it if you want to look at this yourself. They have two kind of tabs here, one for SEC filings for their NYSE, and then this other Hong Kong Stock Exchange filings tab. Under that, every single day they're doing this next day disclosure return. Right? That form is the one that will tell you how much was spent on share buybacks the previous day.
Got it.
Right? It's a daily
Sweet.
reporting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So, you're looking at $40 million basically in share repurchases as of the most recent day, September 19th. That's the most recent publication we have of this. Tells you they're lower, they're minimum. Mind you, it's given in USD, but it is on the Hong Kong exchange. So these are not the ADR shares per
Okay.
directly when it's giving you this price. It's giving you that 8-for-1. Don't forget that there's a reverse split there going from Hong Kong exchange listed shares to US listed shares, but they are buying them on the NYSE, so they are buying back the ADRs. So it's a little
Okay.
bit confusing there.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, they're getting a great deal. This is that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So you'd have to actually multiply that times 8 if you wanted to find out what the per share price they were paying for these are.
Just eight
There's
exactly,
been,
because that's easy.
what's that?
Just eight exactly. That's all you do. You just multiply by eight.
Exactly 8.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Each ADR represents 8 of the Hong Kong listed shares. And as a result, we have some folks here on X, formerly Twitter, that are aggregating this data. Thank you very much. I would make sure I left their screen name in here so you could see who is providing this information. One of them is Bourbon Capital. I love it. I like money and I like whiskey, so can't argue with that. But they actually had this chart showing you day by day, basically how much Alibaba shares are being purchased, repurchased, which is
Okay.
cool.
I
So
mean,
tens of millions of
that's
dollars per day.
yeah, that's pretty wild. That's isn't there? Oh, it's on your next slide. Sorry, just kidding.
Yeah.
I was gonna
So
say it
there's
looks like they're slowing down because I was on the
so
13th, but then they went
yeah,
right back
it
up.
seems like from the pattern so far, maybe Fridays are a little bit less of a
Yeah.
as aggressive a day. I don't know if it's a societal thing or why, if that just happens to be a random fluctuation. You're getting a little bit of movement all over the week here. This is stock though is not showing the total number of shares bought back. It's showing the percent of the daily shares transacted that are actually buyback. So typically throughout this time period here, you're looking at this like say 2 to 4% is somewhere in the median range of shares transacted per day for Alibaba are actually shares being repurchased by the company themselves.
I don't know if you would know this. This would be impossible. You can't see the time of day that this is happening, right?
No, I don't believe the disclosure gets that
Okay.
granular.
Because then you could just day trade the shit out of this, but never mind. Okay. All right.
I like it. I like where your head is at. You're trying to full run that trade.
Yes.
And this is another kind of person that follows Alibaba stock here on X.com or Twitter, talking about now that they have this mainland China exposure, how they're seeing more inflow part of the reason why the stock has been appreciating over the last couple weeks potentially could be, more net buying by Chinese citizens. So that's what they're trying to display here. Over $3 billion total in the last few weeks.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, they went from like 80 to 87. They're definitely killing it. Now, we've been low for so long, like a
Hmm.
stupid long time. People forgot that this was like $300 a share. I'm not saying we're going back there, to be very clear
Yeah, it's
here.
crazy.
But you got to think is now with all of this, we can see that they're continuing the rate of their crazy buybacks. It's
Hmm.
now more available to people in China. Is 87 still a decent price to buy? That's what the question is going to be in the comments.
Yeah, that is indeed a valuable question. I still look at it from a trailing 12-month free cash flow basis. And didn't look at the number from the most recent quarter before this presentation today.
It was high.
Um, yeah, exactly. I mean, we're talking about anything over 10% is solid in my book. So give you
Yeah,
that idea.
and that
You could
cash
work
flow
backwards.
number, I can't remember. It was very high, but also it had nothing to do with the investments they also have. So there's also that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, both upside and downside risk associated with those investments.
Fair.
But definitely some cool things. And then this just happened this morning. Have you seen this headline yet?
Nope.
No. Oh, this just happened today while the market was closed. We'll see what the market thinks about this. So Alibaba and Nvidia. We always get people
It's
pronouncing
Nvidia, I
this.
think. But
Nvidia.
people, we've gotten yelled at for that a couple times. I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah.
Nvidia, but I don't know. I've
Okay.
been saying Nvidia
The
forever.
hottest stock in the market, period, over the last 12 months at least. Okay. We'll just refer to them as such for the rest of this. They've announced a partnership or collaboration agreement a little bit. Collaborate, not partnership, to work on autonomous driving. Which, this is something that may mean nothing or could mean something significant going forward. What do you think about that?
Um, so whatever it is, they were doing autonomous driving actually like in Arizona too, and then one person got hit even though they were breaking the law and jaywalking, and then like the whole thing got shut down. Right. The problem with autonomous driving, it has to be exponentially safer than humans. So I think this is cool. I don't think this will lead to a lot of things for a while. Granted, China's very different than here.
Yeah. I was
Here,
just thinking,
yeah, we like one person gets hit, they can just sue the company for everything they have. I don't think you can do that in China. I don't know how that
yeah.
works.
You're using your US or Western
Yeah.
logic to evaluate this.
Yes.
Now, is this going to be like a game changer for them? Probably not. But it is nice to see that they're, investing in and attempting to collaborate with other companies on these cutting edge AI technologies, despite the fact that China is still subject to this embargo of like the top tier AI chips. So this is more on the software side of things, from my understanding. Because like I said, once again, Nvidia cannot, or Nvidia, or whatever you want to call them, cannot export those chips to China at this time. But they will be collaborating on this technology.
The good
And
news is it said AI in the description, so that's good enough for the
yes,
market. You
oh
don't have
yeah,
to read
totally.
past that.
Yeah, this article is from the South China Morning Post, which is owned by an Alibaba subsidiary. So there's always a little bit of like, how much do they really want to put out there in public as far as their own inner workings? Whether or not they're trying to drum up support just based upon AI. Oh my God! And then the stock rips higher on Monday, and it looks we're at $100 a share by the end of the week. It's
Yeah.
possible. Okay.
Probably not, but yeah, it'd be dope.
Yeah, I completely agree. But yeah, certainly it's worth taking a look at if you're something you're interested in. But something to keep an eye on. But it's not anything that would move the needle for me personally at this point in time.
Right. What
Yeah,
is
I'm not going
this?
to read all this. This is all random gobbledygook about the different large language models that they're working with Alibaba and Nvidia on. So
Okay,
the article goes on
but
for
it
more
says
pages.
generative AI, like
Yes.
ChatGPT. So that's all that matters. As long as it
Yeah.
says that, you don't have to know any details about it. We're good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
Totally.
good
Yeah.
day for Baba.
Yeah, yeah. When you get in the car, you just say Chat GPT, take the wheel. Actually, there was some things they mentioned about how it's gonna like prompt you and say it's raining outside. Do you want to turn your wipers on, or it's getting kind of dark? Should you turn your lights on? Like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but will it be really financially powerful for the company? Probably not.
But like, what world do we live in where it's raining and the guy's like, man, if that AI hadn't said turn my wipers on, I probably wouldn't have done it. Like, I feel like that person shouldn't be driving. I don't.
You haven't
Okay.
spent enough time on the roadways.
I,
My
j-
wife,
I
I just came back from a shopping trip. My wife was keeping a counter on how many people like blew the red light in front of us. It was a total of 8 on the way to our destination.
You're on the East Coast. That's very different.
Yeah,
All right, guys. Let me know.
yeah. Get back.